Om wage jware wage jware 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 Om wage jware wage jware
Okay, so we're back. So that recording, for example, is from that CD done many years ago. So if any of you happen to have that CD, please let me know. This was maybe almost 20 years ago. Maybe Rinpoche remember who did it for him. This has been a while, a long while, a whole collection of Rinpoche's chants.
2013, David.
There's also the Pelden Lama Kushi Wanchu, that recording. There is the Medicine Buddha mantra, I remember. There is the Sanje Chosokma as well in this one CD. But at some point, I know I had the CD, but impermanence took over. So now impermanence in my memory and impermanence in the CD. I don't know where it is now.
Just see.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
No, you don't need me anymore. That's good.
What do I don't need?
Okay, just get rid of that.
Oh, good. So somebody said they might have this. So wonderful.
Yeah, that CD was, as you mentioned, Dr. Hanlai, some years ago, it was recorded in Germany, Aachen.
Oh, okay.
So we made some copies at the TMC the last time when I was there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That in Ellen, she was so impressed was the Achis mantra.
Yes, there's also the Achi mantra.
Yes, Achi mantra, and you mentioned Lama Kushi,
Yes.
And then I think the Tara. Tara's mantra, I think those are, yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, I think somebody has located them and will share them, and then we will upload them to Rinpoche's YouTube.
Yes, it's, all are free.
Yes. Yeah, so Rinpoche, please go ahead, and then when you finish on this text, I'm sure there are people with questions, then maybe
Okay, sure.
take some questions. That would be wonderful.
Om Banza Sato Samaya, Mano Palaya, Banza Sato Tenopa, Distant Teto member wa, Soto Kayo member wa, Subu Kayo member. Anorado member wa, Sarwa Seteme Prayaza, Sarwa Karma Suzame, Zetan Shreya, Kuru Hung, ha, ho, Bakawan. Sarwa Tata Gadrama Drama Monza, Banzimbawa, Ma Samaya Sadu. So first, please refresh your mind and refresh our cultivation, the mind to attain the complete enlightenment and to purify all our mental obscurations. So this is what we are now doing this, you know. It's not something that I like this, I don't like this, and this is not the idea. Here, idea is to dispel all our adventitious obscurations, bewilderment. So we are in the jungle of the samsara, and everybody is suffering helplessly, due to these obscurations. So here we have the excellent opportunity. So because Buddha who realized these totally nature of the samsara and attain Buddhahood and purified. So we should feel we are so fortunate. This is, yes, it's not some exaggerating, or it's not something that I'm telling, say, so no, through some kind of system, but it's a universal. So our nature of the mind is pure, totally pure, unstained by any obscurations. It's like a diamond. The rock diamond itself is pure, but it's a stain on the way. So those individuals who knows that, they polish the diamond, and diamond becomes so expensive, high price. So likewise, our mind, the nature itself is, is calm, uncontrived, unfabricated, pure. That's a luminosity, but it's obscured by obscurations of our mental delusions. So this we are making every effort to purify, whatever we can. So that's what today also is talking about, you see. So we did the Nagarjuna. Now the next is what is here. Changke Dongdang, Hoge Ta, Nangwe Chadang, Chunang Nya, Dendung Mishin Jenam Ki, Dadung Tarba Matoba, Toduke Puchung Magwam. Here, these are some very good examples, you see. The saying is here, saying, the wild yak of the north and the tigers of the south, the birds in the sky and the fish in the water, even the ghosts and demons who possess clairvoyant powers, none of them have yet attained the liberation Oh, my young son, do you not understand this? So this is such a great example. So like you see what Teacher Sungun was talking to his disciples. In Tibet, Changdong is the wild yak in the north. They are so powerful. They are untamed, you know. See, no matter how power, strength they have, but still they're not free from suffering. You know. Then said, in the forest south of Tibet, there's a lot of forest. There's a tiger, tigers and the snow leopards. They're so talented catching the animals. You know. They're also not free from suffering. So the bird, like eagles, giant eagle, they are so expert flying the sky. They can fly for days, but they are not free from suffering. The fish in the ocean, like say dolphin, giant fish, they have such great skill swimming in the water, but they are not free from suffering, you know. There are some demons, ghosts, has such a power, ability. Some have the clairvoyance. They can read others' mind, but they are not free from suffering. You say now. Now look at nowadays, the people in the world, they're so skilled, like a mechanical, skilled technicians, technical people. There are some who can make nuclear bombs. Such has a great skill. You know, some gymnastic they can play on the ice, you know, in the air. Look at nowadays you can see in the in the world. There's some individuals also you can how we can imagine that they are such a skilled training, you know, but they're not free from suffering. They have not achieved liberation, you see. So we need such great wisdom, great skill, how to free from the suffering. Here mentioned liberation, you see. None of them have yet attained liberation, especially liberation from the delusions, because the mind is very powerful. The mind is very profound, as I mentioned quite a few times. Just we should see that. When you look at your mind, when the mind is peaceful, you feel so good, you see. Even you don't have much, but you feel so good. But when the mind is disturbed through our mental afflictions, of course that mental afflictions is depend on many causes and conditions, but still it's your mind. And you feel so suffering. So you feel like hellrealm. You are staying in such a beautiful place. You have such good food to eat. But you feel so, what is going on? You feel just desperate. So you look at these. No matter how you are talented, in many ways, you see, physically, mentally. You can do so much, but when the mind is the wrong place, these all the skills you have doesn't help you. When there's some critical time, difficult time, so only Dharma, the wisdom of Buddha, can help us. That's where Buddha just described the suffering of the six realms. Even in the God realm, they have such a luxurious life, pleasant enjoyment, they have everything. But since their mind is deluded, they are not free from suffering. They are under the condition of suffering. So we're not saying everything's bad, but just reflect, investigate. So that will give us why we need to focus on the Dharma study practice. As I mentioned, it's not a religion. We're not converting somebody into religion, but we have every opportunity to share the wisdom, like the modern technologies. Internet looks it everywhere now. So internet invades monks and nuns, everybody in the world, priests, they have an iPhone in their hand, and then they enjoy the iPhone whole day. Or on the phone, they get all the message, So look at these things. So our Buddhist study practice gives us such a perspective to see things, how they function, how to relate. Since we want peace and happiness, how to achieve that? Since we want free from suffering, how to get rid of the cause of suffering? This is what Dharma is teaching us about. So this is such a precious wisdom, giving us this example. So look at this. Jiddu Sungkun said, no matter how much they have skill, we in the world, the people are learning how to swimming in the ocean like a dolphin, Sometimes we try to fly in the sky like a bird, but said that will not give us to free from suffering. That will not give us opportunity how to free from suffering. So better look inside the mind, not outside. What it makes sense. So these are some just simple example. Then next he said, yang sonam sabe gyumena debu yunde retache lamlo kosri shubatan gyuji kirwe kansa nam suni sobe gyupangne mudik cheki namtar tar katubla yunde katub chola yunde re lobe lamdo shubar nge. More is like the last line. Here said, and so cut up hopes that there would be a fruition without the cause of accumulating merit and the wisdom. So said, don't expect anything to achieve without the cause. We have to if you want to achieve the fruition, the result, we must pay attention to the cause. What kind of cause we're creating? Individuals who are carried away by maras, this is not mara outside, demons with the fangs, not that. This mara is a mental afflictions, mental confusion, especially our self-grasping, self-cherishing. Because other days mentioned, there's no such called self. Something exists. The self-ego is a notion. Somehow we introduced that and we just got to that habituated, say, this me, I, myself, at the center of all the confusion, center of all the suffering. No, there's no such called self itself. So that we need to purify. If we don't purify, that's the mara. That's the biggest mara. All the maras are manifestation of that. So, carried away by maras and have entered into the false and mistaken path. Through this, then, because it is, the afflicted mind is also very smart. As I mentioned, like making the atom bombs, nuclear bombs, it's made through these mental afflictions, but they are so smart. So they create such way, this and that, and then we follow that, and at the end, there's nothing but confusion and suffering. So that's the saying, false and mistaken path. So forsake causes of gathering through the true accumulation. Then we don't know how to accumulate the merit and wisdom. We don't know how to accumulate means putting together all the causes and conditions to free from samsara. So true accumulation is just, for example, when the bird flies, the bird has two wings. So these two wings are necessary, the bird to fly in the sky. With the two wings, then the bird can fly in the sky freely. Likewise, the wisdom, the wing of wisdom and the merit are so crucial to fly to the Buddhahood, to the enlightenment. So we need the special insight, wisdom, seeing everything as illusory nature, and a method, all the ability, like practice of generosity and so forth. So this will help us to free from samsara. Just through accumulations. See. Like in the life stories of non-Buddhists, means there are some practitioners here. Non-Buddhist doesn't mean we're criticizing them, no. But there are some individuals who doesn't have the Buddha's wisdom. That's what it's saying. When doesn't have the wisdom of the enlightened one, then we are confused. There's some if you have, I'm sure you have heard, like I said, there are some practitioners, they raise their hand every day for years and years. Even the blood circulation stopped. their hand become dry. It's an ascetic life, but that doesn't help us anything to free from suffering. It doesn't help us to achieve enlightenment. So we need a middle path, a wisdom, a compassion for oneself, for others. Wisdom knowing about that reality nature. So and Buddhist, they engage in the, say, asceticism or hardship, and for quality means the quality of the enlightened quality, or enlightenment quality, because they don't have the cause, right cause, you should say. They don't have the right cause, right condition. No matter how much you expect from this hardship, so you cannot achieve the qualities. Just for example, if you don't know how to get rid of self-grasping, instead, if you're enriching this self, the connotation or the notion of the self, instead of seeing there's no self, but just say there's a self. Self is called a noble self. They're called a noble kind of something self is permanent. Then holding that, so divine self, since there's no self. So no matter how much you explain about that, since that is not exist. So with that kind of understanding, due to lack of the wisdom, and then no matter how much you try, so you cannot free from samsara. You have to achieve the enlightenment by purifying these delusions. So as I mentioned, it's not a Buddhist idea or Buddhist belief. So we have to have such kind of incisive wisdom to see things precisely how they function. So as I mentioned, Buddhists were describing about the interdependent. Now in Sanskrit, pratitapada samuda, the interdependent nature. Because of the interdependent, the nature is emptiness. Because of the nature of the emptiness, there's there's interdependent. That's why all the time I just say that, the form in the Heart Sutra, the form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form. Because the form, that what we see, is functions on the basis of many causes and conditions. It's just manifestation. It's just a reflection. See this. Based on many causes and conditions. And because of that, that nature is self. It's no other than emptiness. So that emptiness itself is the form, and form is emptiness. So we don't look emptiness outside of us. We don't look emptiness somewhere else. We don't need to prove outside of us that this is empty. Like I said, the part is empty, But look inside. Our ego is emptiness. Our grasping to the ego is emptiness. Since that's the case, when we know how to tackle that problem, then suffering is ceased to exist, because we could take care of the cause. No? So there, in that place, there's a peace, you see. The peace comes from that. Not from the agreement, writing on the paper. So we agree to have peace, you know. There are some leaders of the country, you know. So we are agreed to keep the peace, but problem comes, you know. So creating this problem one after another, you see, because they don't have the wisdom how to bring the wisdom within in. Since there is no wisdom, the compassion is so limited. So there's some compassion, but due to lack of the wisdom, the compassion becomes idiot. You know? So look at these. You know, we just meditate carefully, and here comes the courage. You see, our courage, fearlessness, comes out of wisdom, out of compassion, not out of arrogance. The courage, the fearlessness, when it comes from the from the confusion, from the arrogance, is very dangerous. See, but when the courage comes out of wisdom, everything is interdependent. Then that courage, that fearlessness is based on the reason. And then you see when you see all sentient beings suffering and develop such a great compassion, then in your mind there's great joy, there's great peace. So we don't have to look for peace and happiness. There's nothing to grasp on, but simply knowing the causes and conditions, and the peace is just there. When we could minimize, reduce our confusion, mental afflictions, then the peace and happiness manifests by itself, because we are creating the cause, we are creating the condition. So that's what is saying for, so these, some individuals, very ascetic life, with hardship without wisdom, and they expect some qualities that will not happen. There are some who have a clairvoyance, but still lacking the real wisdom, how to free from their total suffering. So they have certainly entered upon mistaken paths. If it is the highest of qualities you seek, then endure in the causes, and the result will follow. See, if we are really interested to free from all this suffering, undesirable conditions, then we have to have such a wisdom based on a reason. And look at all the reasons. When you investigate carefully, then just for example, the 6 parameters, the 6 perfections are, you see, perfect cause. Generosity practice doesn't mean you have to give something, but mind free from grasping, mind free from fixation, Make your mind free, not clinging. Make your mind spacious. That's called practice of generosity. From there, then, whatever individual has opportunity can do anything. So it's basically giving peace, giving happiness to others. So giving peace and happiness, we cannot do that out of delusion, out of self-grasping, rather by purifying our mental afflictions. Then from there, we can keep the moral ethics. Moral ethics means morality, not harming others. Buddha said, if you cannot help others, at least don't harm. You see, this is a message. It's reality, Nobody will appreciate if you harm, even animals, small insects. So then from there, you see, the practice comes to loving kindness, compassion. Then comes bodhicitta practice. Then comes their 6 perfections. It's built, you see. Then Vajrayana, since most of you are practicing Vajrayana, you are developed, engaged, called a rising stage. You visualize yourself, some enlightened beings, whether peaceful or artful, doesn't matter. All are natural of compassion. So these enlightened beings that you are visualizing, they are enlightened beings. So we are following into their path. See, within enlightened state yourself, how you can harm others. Especially in the Vajrayana, then you have to see all beings are enlightened. So if we are holding self, being in the enlightened state, and then cherishing the self, and try to protect yourself, then we're misusing the teachings. We don't know how to practice Dharma enough. Instead, we're getting benefit, we're getting the wrong message. So that we call this the moral practice, the moralities. And then patience, you see, patience means is kind of bearing the difficult consequences. All have to look inside the mind. Our mental afflictions, when they manifest, let them go. Purify. They will come, because we are so habituated. They are coming like a natural. Sometimes we feel it's natural, Well, it's okay, it's natural to be attached to have the anger, all these things. But as soon as when these manifest in the mind, there's no peace. We become restless, you see, and there's no happiness. So we practice, purify them. All mental afflictions, including the anger, that's called practice of patience. When there comes difficult things in life, that time we should use bodhicitta, compassion, how to comprehend, how to follow into the path. Sometimes not easy, difficult. So that time is called patience. Patience doesn't mean you're submissive. You're submit to your mental afflictions. It's That's the wrong type of patience. So patience, we have to practice such all the mental afflictions, submission, let go, purify. That's how to bring real peace, happiness. This is not just only just sitting a session. This is for 24 hours in our whole life. As we need to eat food, lunch, so this is the food for the mind. We have to have every day in our life, not just like week-long retreat. It's not just like a 1 month retreat. It's not just like a 3 years retreat. This is for the rest of the life until we attain Buddhahood. So we need this mindfulness practice. So that's how will not achieve enlightenment through just ascetic life, through the hardship, but we have to have skill how to gather all the causes and conditions, you see. So this, I think, is very precious. If it is the highest of qualities you seek, then it is, they endure in the causes and the result will follow. Then just relax. First of all, we should know how to relax ourselves. And we keep these Dharma teachings, not just for ourselves, not just for today's happiness, for the enlightenment of all sentient beings. We study, practice these Dharma teachings to reach ourselves. No. To become famous. No, that's not point. We study, practice Dharma this for all other sentient beings. No. Our mind should be rich in this wisdom and compassion, skillful means. Then you can share to your families. And the families can see, oh, that's what wisdom is about. It's not a religion you believe, but it's something that require. We need them in our family. We need in the society. Look at this. That's how teachings can stay in the world. Buddha gave these teachings 2,600 years ago. When you read all the history, the great masters like Marpa, who went to India, with sacrificing all things, seeing the wisdom, how much wisdom is there to help the people in Tibet. So Marpa brought these precious teachings and he part them. He just giving to those like Milarepa and giving those teachings to all. And how many great benefits there. How much the people got benefit. Still it induces these teachings to live. So now we have all the responsibilities to practice ourselves and then share with others. So this is today's short description that I made that can have a long. So now, Dr. Hanlai?
Yes.
Shall we start another one or just start some discussions?
Maybe some question and answers, I think.
Okay. Okay, if anybody has any questions, then if I have the wisdom, then I can share.
Yes, please go ahead and ask if you have a question.
Rinpoche, the last couple teachings that you've done, would you consider on the Mahamudra, would you say these were the pointing out practices? I've heard about that, and I think that's what you've been doing, the pointing out. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, these all are pointing out instruction.
And is it best to
including Mahamudra, and today is also, especially today is a pointing out instruction.
Is it best to practice them by reciting them at a meditation in the morning or when we meditate, to read through them and recite them out loud? Is that, would you?
Yes, you can do anything. You can read aloud or just by yourself. Whatever helps you, you can do that.
These are amazing teachings, and they're much more in depth than anything I've ever heard from you before. So you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your attention.
Lucrece? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Rinpoche, many thanks for your teachings. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the ways to accumulate merit?
There are many ways, as mentioned here. You don't have to have so much to. So some people think they have to have a lot of things to accumulate merit. But here, Lord Chittu Songkul is saying, rich or poor, good or bad. Even when Buddha was at the time when he cultivated bodhicitta, he was very poor, So we all have such a great opportunity, to accumulate merit. The first, most important is we should pay attention about bodhicitta. Okay? Everyone should pay attention about bodhicitta. Cultivate bodhicitta. And you have every opportunity to cultivate bodhicitta. When you are interested, then this is the most important. That's the backbone of the practice. Once you, or sometimes called the cornerstone, So when you have the bodhicitta, then you have all the possibilities to accumulate merit. Like say, when you see a small pond, a fresh water, and you can imagine it's as limitless as the space, and make offering to all the Buddhas, make offering to all the sentient beings. By this merit, may everyone free from samsara achieve enlightenment. Or if you see one beautiful flower on the road, on the ground, look at that flower and manifest that flower limitlessly and make offering to all the Buddhas and make offering to all the sentient beings and just say, may every sentient beings free from suffering and achieve enlightenment. So these are just some example. When you're drinking a glass of water, you just not fully indulge yourself into that glass of water. Instead, you just meditate. I'm offering this water to all the Buddhas and sentient beings. Yourself meditate a deity and making offering this. So like that, so this is the way how to accumulate the merit and wisdom.
Rinpoche.
Yes.
Can I share one story I just heard?
Yes, please.
About this? I thought this is really, one Khenpo just told me, he said his teacher one time he noticed that every morning when the teacher shower, he's chanting something in the shower. So finally, the Khenpo asked his teacher, Rinpoche, what are you doing in the shower? Why are you chanting? He said, I'm doing water offering, the chutor. In the shower, it's like, it's like there's no time to waste. So like Rinpoche is saying, like everything can be used to accumulate. So he's making offerings of water to the deities and to the hungry ghosts while he's showering. He says, don't waste water, don't waste time.
Rinpoche, I have a question.
Yes.
This paragraph here, it is not taught that the Lord of Yogis Milarepa perfected the exalted qualities through the asceticism of eating only nettle soup. It was the result of meritorious accumulations towards the unsurpassed sublime guru.
Yes.
Would you explain that connection a little bit more? That it wasn't the how he got from his suffering and his asceticism to accumulating the merit.
So what he is saying is Milarepa not attained Buddhahood or not achieve the Buddhahood by just eating the nettles, Just nettle is, Milarepa was eating nettle is just a way how to put it into action to free from the attachment. We're so attached to have a good breakfast, and have a good lunch. When you have some delicious sandwich, you enjoy this wonderful, So Milarepa, of course, if you try, he can get, food going around asking, so can you give me this, that? But he was trying to free from that attachment, from the attaching to the desire of our food. What he is saying is Milarepa is not achieve Buddhahood just eating the nettle, but to free from this attachment. He is not attained from the ascetic life of eating nettles, but instead he was practicing to please his guru, means practicing all the teachings that he received from his guru Marpa. See, like I am here, I'm so attached to my breakfast. So I have a lot of work to do.
Well, there's intermittent fasting. That would be just like nettles.
Yeah.
Take 10, 12 hours of fasting occasionally, offering it up to release attachment.
So
that sounds good.
So the release of the attachment then increased his merit. It increased, it increased the merit for him to attain his enlightenment. That's what you're saying.
Excuse me?
I said, so you're saying that because he by using this practice to decrease his attachment, to decrease his attachment, it increased his merit.
Yeah, what I'm saying is we are so in the world, you see, there are the 5 desirable objects. From the eyes, how you look, enjoying the objects of the eyes. We're enjoying the object of the ears, the sound, melodies, and smell, and food taste, and clothes touch, all this. So these, as long as when we have attachment to these, then it's there's no space so much in the mind to manifest critical insight, wisdom, because the mind is occupied by this delusion. No? So Milarepa was forcefully practicing to reduce attachment to these things. So he has the full opportunity. He has a full he opened a full to occupy whole his being by the wisdom, you know. So that's because of that, he took the full advantage of the Marpa's instruction within himself. And there's no other samsaric place for him. So that's why he achieved the Buddhahood. You see, we have some negotiation, you know. With some negotiate, oh, if I practice this much, maybe it's okay, you know. So because we have a lot of negotiation, so we cannot go too far.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Kenshin, I have a question. With shamatha and placing the mind on an object for a period of time, I notice that when I do meditation or generate the deity, that my mind is on the object for about 5 seconds and then it vanishes. Is there a way to increase the shamatha so that the mind rests on the object without distraction or, you know?
All is important is mindfulness, you know, the mindfulness, especially to increase the shamatha. The mindfulness is very important. When you do this, not uptight, not tense, so I have to be very mindful, you know, so then you're so uptight. That doesn't help at all. You have to relax the mind as much as you can. Now, shamatha is just, the mindfulness is just way to watch. But your real state of the mind should be very calm, peaceful. So to do that, as I mentioned, you know, we have to release the attachment to these different objects and our thoughts and our ideas. Sometimes we are so attached to our ideas. You know? So to free from these distraction, it's good to have all this mindfulness, awareness, and then mind should be very relaxed, peaceful. That's very important. If you are very uptight, if you have become mind very tense, then it's not good. Because due to the tensity, the very tensity of the mind doesn't help really to get a good shamatha.
Thank you, Kenshin La.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
Or what should I say? Remark or whatever. Yeah, this phrase, the important thing is to delight the guru. So I'm thinking if I'm baking you a wonderful yellow cake, you know, with a lot of cream with saffron, and then I write a beautiful poem glorifying your wisdom, and then I make a beautiful dance sincerely from my heart, might be some hope. So can that be a way?
What that does for you?
Yeah, if I give this to you, I offer this to you.
Oh, you offer to me?
Yeah, a beautiful cake with a lot of yellow cream, and then yes. I glorify you in a poem, you know, your wisdom, and praying for your long life, and then I also dance a little bit.
Okay.
for you. Can there be some hope?
Okay. So it's
Or Mahamudra?
your cake is very delicious.
Due to this, the important thing is to delight the Guru. It says in this text, you know.
Yes.
So I'm thinking if I make some delightment, good picnic, you know.
Yes, you
time
offer a good picnic, yes.
Yes, and we have some of the girls, we dance for you and
Yes.
so forth. Yes?
Yes, yes.
I just want to make you happy.
Okay, thank you.
So this is
That sounds
enough.
good.
Any other questions from anyone?
Hi.
Yes, please go
Hi,
ahead.
Hi, Tenchin. Good evening. Here in Malaysia is at night. I heard that. Thank you very much, Kenjin and Punji and people who organize this. I have a question. I heard that to be enlightened, you need to give away the attachment. But we are actually living in the samsara. It's very difficult and to keep up the mindfulness every second. How could we actually to make the mind to be in always awareness? Because there is too much distractions in this world. It's very difficult to get enlightened. So sorry, do you hear me? Heard me, Rampoche?
Yes, I understand.
Is it too soft? Too soft? Oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just saying. Sorry, maybe I repeat. Because in this world is too in samsara, there's a lot of attractions to actually distract our mind to keep our awareness to be concentrated, focused, not being attached to everything. But I find it very difficult that because we have a lot of entertainments, a lot of activity, work to do, beside what is the best method for us as a human being to always to be focused, clear, pristine?
Yeah, I understand. Yes. Every year there's something new because of the invention of the technologies. So it makes everything very easy to see, to hear, entertain your life, or suffer your life. So there's so many of those things there. Yes. So these are difficult to control, you know. So we individually have not so much power to control these things. But most important thing is reflecting on the impermanence. Everything is impermanent, doesn't last long. Everything's changing every second, no? Like a running the river. Look at these things. Everything is momentary nature. Oh. Today is such good news, next day is bad news. Today is a bad news, and tomorrow is good news. But keep changing. You never know what will happen. Everything is so uncertain. So because these people have so many fears, a lot of business people have so much fear from this. They say, everything's uncertain. No, what we should do. Like this, you see. So most important is, as I mentioned, we cannot control all this because everything functions on the basis of causes and conditions, and they change all the time. So look, we should have such wisdom to see this changing. Everything's just like illusory nature. As I mentioned, it's a reflection. This is very important. Everything's just reflection. It's just illusory nature. No, we're not making illusion, but they function within in the nature of the illusion. So, but we have to have the wisdom to see that. So the critical wisdom allow us to see this. So when you have that kind of conviction, when you are very convinced, you are convinced on this reality nature, then it helps us to have the stability of the mind. More mindfulness. You can say, oh, yes, that come and go, you know. So you are not so much putting attention on this. No. When you have enough, you appreciate. If you have, let's say, enough food, no, a place to live, no, we don't know how long we live. You just appreciate. You just rejoice. This will make us happy. If we know how to appreciate, rejoice, then for the Dharma, also this is the best foundation for practice. Also in the samsara, this is the best way to live our life more peaceful. So for all purpose, Dharma is, as mentioned, not just a religious practice, it's to how to bring the life more peace, happiness. That's how you start from there for enlightenment. So I think this is what here I'm saying is just basic condition we can make.
Many thanks.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Rinpoche?
Yes.
Rinpoche?
Yes.
You seem to be saying one cornerstone is bodhicitta. Can we kind of say, okay, maybe the other cornerstone could be cause and condition?
Yeah.
So is it helpful to think of our mind or chitta as kind of mixed up with the mental factors, both wholesome and unwholesome, you know? Then maybe through vipassana practice, we can resolve some of these issues. So is it helpful to think of chitta, our mind as chitta, and then because of the mix up with all the other mental factors like anger and fury, because those will lead on to unwholesome acts like killing, etc. That's the idea I'm going along.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you know, the mind is, as I mentioned, very complex, you know. But the one side is enlightened, other side is samsara, you know. Like for example, if you're so angry, you know, so upset, so angry, at that moment your mind is like in the hell realm. How much suffering is there? You are totally under the control of the anger, no? But just that moment, you recognize, oh, I'm angry. This is not good for me. This destroys my peace and happiness. This is delusion. At that moment, if you have that wisdom to recognize, first we need the wisdom to recognize that. As soon as you recognize this is nothing but delusion, then at that moment, when you cultivate compassion for oneself and to other to whom you are angry about, so that person is also suffering. So at that moment, in that second, your mind is, because you say like enlightened mind, your mind is totally peace. See, the same mind, in the first second, you are so angry, you are so suffering, so much, you are so deluded, it's so destructive. It destroys all your happiness, peace, And then in the second moment, due to the wisdom, mindfulness, and your anger is no longer good. The anger is just a manifestation of the bad habit. Realize the nature of the anger is emptiness. You realize that, then your mind is total peace. You see, it's your same mind. One side of the mind brings all the suffering. Other side of the mind brings all the peace and happiness. That's what this Dharma practice is about. That's why we need to have that, our habit to follow into the path step by step. See, it's how to kind of get to used to it. We are so good used to in the samsaric habit, and therefore the suffering is endless, you see. If that moment is changed due to this wisdom, special insight, and then that is a way you starting way towards the enlightenment.
Okay, we transform, we just flip it, just do it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Now we all individuals have the responsibilities.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
So today we will end here. There will be one more Saturday next Saturday.
Okay. So we don't start new one.
Yeah, so now it's noon, so we should dedicate.
Okay.
And
thank you.
Yes, so if somebody can volunteer to read the English on page 5, 6, and 7, please. Don't be shy, somebody. You have to unmute yourself if you're going to volunteer to read. Thank you.
I will. Great Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Bhagmadrupa, and Conqueror Digumpa, please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessings of all Yukaji Gurus. By this merit, may I achieve the all-knowing state. May all who wander on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara by defeating enemies of faults and delusions. By the virtues collected in the 3 times in samsara and nirvana, and the innate virtue, and in the primordially co-emergent mandala of the mind, may I realize the exalted intention of Jinten Gompo, the indivisibility of the 2 truths in the exalted form of Vajradhara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious sign, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase, higher and higher. I pray for the excellent health of the Gurus, and may the Guru's supreme life be long. May the Guru's activities spread far and wide, and may I be blessed not to be separated from the Gurus. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by me and the entirety of samsara and nirvana, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain the unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious awakening. May the teachings of the great Jagumpa Ratna Shri, the all-knowing Dharma Lord, master of interdependence, continue to increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you. Durje Janjen Dele Naroda Marba Mela Chuje Gampo Ba Pamo Druba Gyawa Dregungba Kagyo Lama Namje Draju Zonam Deye Tamje Zegpani Tumni nyebe dranam pamje te kega naji balong chubayi. Sibe sole drowa drowa shur gude dusun sadang yubege. Done lenge semge gengundu dene sumsu doje changi gu. Jiden gombo gompa tongpar shu chanju semju rinpoche. Mage banam gegirji geba nyamba me bayam gongne gongdu pelbar shu lama gukang sangwa sowa de chokdu kutse ringwa sowa de junle dashin geba sowa de lama dan trawa me bar jinjil dadang korde tam jegi duzun du sabadang yobe gewe zawadi dadang senchen tamje nerdu lana me paya dabra zobe janju rinpoche dobra gyurje jeja gunzi gungi chuki je dindre nela wantob dregongpa rinjen pelgi tenpa sidheba shedru tozang gombe zingyurje. So everybody, you can unmute yourself and say goodbye.
Just unmute and start your video.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye, Kempo. Goodbye, Kempo.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Linda, you can unmute Rinpoche as well.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Thank you, Kenshin.
Gracias. Love from Chile.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you all.
Linda, can you unmute Rinpoche?
Do you come in order or something, or what? I said
Thank you,
thanks, but
Rinpoche. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
You
I
next
don't
to
think I
you,
came to.
Rinpoche.
Some of these people are coming in 3 or 4.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Han. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Thank you, Kenshin.
Meditation Center in Canada.
Hello, Linda. Can you unmute Rinpoche?
Oh,
Thank you.
Julia.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Julie.
Rinpoche. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Rinpoche. See you.
Morris.
There he is.
Oh, Bonnie.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you.
Yes. Wonderful seeing you. Hello. Rochelle.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela.
You remember this little one?
Yeah. Angela. Good picnic, okay?
All the best.
Power, take care.
You take care too, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for your
wonderful.
wonderful teachings.
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah, take care. Hello. Oh, change your own. Captain On, how are you doing? You're good?
Yes, unmute.
Amanda.
Oh. Hello.
Hi, Sally. Hi, Sally.
Hello.
Sally.
Oh, Martin from Latvia. Rika, hello.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah, please.
Greeting from Mexico.
Mexico.
See you the next time. Thank you.
Hannah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
From Taiwan.
From Taiwan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my.
wonderful. Oh, from Sweden, Eva.
Yes, from Sweden. We say hi.
Very
Thank you
good to
much.
see you, Eva.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you are looking good.
Thank you.
Hello, Carol.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
From Berkeley or from oh, from Florida, D'Amelia. Hello.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. You have a good banana behind you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Paul Palmer. Oh, Cindy Chang.
Oh, Cindy Chang. There she is.
Thank you, Kenshin.
Yeah, Cindy. Very good to see you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Hello.
See it come up.
Captain On.
Thank you, Kenshin.
Hello.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you,
Very
Mahan.
good to see you.
Thank you, all the translators and readers.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kenshin. Good to see you. See you
Yeah.
next time.
Oh,
Yeah.
from Malaysia.
Singapore, Malaysia. Thank you for your answer. Okay, I will try to transform.
You try your best.
Oh,
Pete.
these Zoom teachings, Kenshin La.
Yeah, Peter from Baltimore.
Yes. So good to have teachings here.
Yeah, very good to see you.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for Guatemala.
Okay, from Guatemala.
Guatemala. Yes, thank you so much.
Qué bueno.
Yeah. Thank you to Dr. Light.
¿Cómo estás? Yeah, okay.
Bien. Feliz.
Bien, that's good.
Feliz.
Thank you, Kenshin.
Oh, hello.
Only plenty of time to get.
You're good? Mr. Stan.
Yes, it's Mr. Stan from Iowa. Thank you.
Yeah, from Iowa, yes. Iowa City.
Iowa.
Okay, so thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah, thank you.
See everyone next Saturday.
Yes, you start next Saturday, yes.
What to Rinpoche?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Hana.
Johnson, Pento Chambore.
Okay.
Kang Hughes Bob Dua.